So this week we are emphasizing on the glories of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Sarasvati Thakur, because the 150th anniversary appearance is day after tomorrow. So they requested us to speak on Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Sarasvati Thakur. So I chose one particular verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam, where Srila Prabhupada mentions his Guru Maharaj in the purport. You can repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 13, entitled Dhritarashtra Quits Home, text number 29. Evam Raja Vidurena Nujenam Pragya Chakshur Bodhita Ajamidaha Chitva Sveshu Sneha Pasan Dradimnom Nishchakrama Briratrir Sandad Shitad Vam. Mataji's. word for word. Evam, thus, Raja, King Dhritarashtra, Vidurena Anujena, by his younger brother Vidura, Pragya, introspective knowledge, Chakshu, eyes, Bodhita, being understood, Ajamida, Dhritarashtra, this coin of the family of Ajamida, Chitva, by breaking, Sveshu, regarding kingsmen, Sneha Pasan, strong network of affection, Dradimna, because of steadfastness, Nishchakrama, got out, Brihatri, by his brother, Sandashita, direction to Adva, the path of liberation. You can repeat the translation by Srila Prabhupada. Thus Maharaj Dhritarashtra, the sign of the family of Ajameda, firmly convinced by introspective knowledge, Pragya, broke at once the strong network of familial affection by his resolute determination. Thus he immediately left home to set out on the path of liberation as directed by his younger brother Vidura. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the great preacher of the principles of Srimad Bhagavatam, has stressed the importance of association with sadhus, pure devotees of the Lord. He said that even by a moment's association with a pure devotee, one can achieve all perfection. We are not ashamed. Is there like a feedback on this microphone? Some bouncing back? It's okay. Yeah. So Srila Prabhupada further says here, we are not ashamed to admit that this fact was experienced in our practical life. Were we not favored by His divine grace, Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Sarasvati Goswami Maharaj, by our first meeting for a few minutes only, it would have been impossible for us to accept this mighty task of describing Srimad Bhagavatam in English. Without seeing him at that opportune moment, we could have become a very great business magnate, but never would we have been able to walk the path of liberation and be engaged in the factual service of the Lord under instructions of His divine grace. And here is another practical example by the action of Vidura's association with Dhritarashtra. Maharaj Dhritarashtra was tightly bound in a network of material affinities related to politics, economy, and family attachment. And he did everything in his power to achieve so-called success in his planned projects. But he was frustrated from the beginning to the end, so far as his material activities were concerned. And yet, despite his life of failure, he achieved the greatest of all success in self-realization by the forceful instructions of a pure devotee of the Lord, who is the typical emblem of a sadhu. The scriptures enjoin, therefore, that one should associate with sadhus only, rejecting all other kinds of association. And by doing so, one will have ample opportunity to hear the sadhus who can cut to pieces the bonds of illusory affection in the material world. It is a fact that the material world is a great illusion because everything appears to be a tangible reality. But at the next moment, everything like the dashing foam of the sea or a cloud in the sky. A cloud in the sky undoubtedly appears to be a reality because it rains, and due to rain so many temporary green things appear. But in the ultimate issue, everything disappears, namely the cloud, rain, and green vegetation, all in due course. But the sky remains, and the varieties of skies or luminaries also remain forever. Similarly, the absolute truth, which is compared to the sky, remains eternally, and the temporary cloud-like illusion comes and goes away. Foolish living beings are attracted by the temporary cloud, but intelligent men are more concerned with the eternal sky, with all its variegatedness. Om Ajnana Atimirandasya Ajnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vanchakalpa Tadubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Srila Prabhupada quoted Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur, and he said that his Guru Maharaj said, quote, a good man does not take the bad side. He only takes the good side. So, and Srila Prabhupada gave the example of a Putana. that she also offered Krishna poison, but Krishna is so nice, Srila Prabhupada said that Krishna felt that she took me as my mother. So Krishna took the poison and delivered her. Krishna did not take the bad side. And similarly, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that a good man does not take the bad side, he only takes the good side. And then our Srila Prabhupada quoted his Guru Maharaj, and he said, just like one of my big god brothers, he wasn't a sannyasi then, but he was a very leading brahmachari. Yeah. That he wanted to make business with my Guru Maharaj. But my Guru Maharaj did not take the bad side. He took the good side. He thought that he has come forward to give me some service. Now this particular brahmachari, Srila Prabhupada, our Srila Prabhupada's god brother, the leading disciple of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he was super intelligent materially. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur had many big sannyasi disciples who was senior to this brahmachari. So he very intelligently and even legally took over the entire Gaudiya Math. And very intelligently he managed the entire Gaudiya Math, all 64 temples that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur established. So many of his leading sannyasi disciples repeatedly told Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur that he is not very honest and he is not managing the way it's supposed to be done spiritually, like that. And they complained to him severely. And repeatedly Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said to his senior disciples that if I have to pay somebody to manage all my temples, I would pay 3 times the amount if I have to pay somebody to manage professionally. But he is doing it, and even if he's taking some money without anybody knowing, that's all right. Like that. But they were still getting frustrated with this senior brahmachari. Right? And they didn't know what to do, like that. Then Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, a good man does not take the bad side. He only takes the good side of the other person. But still they were not satisfied. Still they were not satisfied. Then Srila Prabhupada quotes in another purport in the Srimad Bhagavatam that I fulfilled his desire to control the Gaudiya Math from an administration and management point of view. I gave it to him. And then just to appease the other senior disciples who were more spiritually based in Krishna consciousness rather than management and administration based, he pacified them. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, what is the use of all these temporary buildings in the Gaudiya Math? He is just controlling something temporary. But for you, you will be liberated. you will be liberated. And even up to today, they are fighting in court. Of course, later on, that brahmachari took sannyas and he really controlled everything, even after taking sannyas. So the same thing here in relation to Srila Prabhupada and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. When he said he only gave him temporary buildings, and all of you will be liberated, but not him. So what is the value of these temporary buildings of the Gaudiya Math? Let him manage anyway, like that. So the same thing here, Srila Prabhupada is saying that Maharaj Dhritarashtra was tightly bound in the network of material affinities related to politics, economy, and family attachment. And he did everything in his power to achieve so-called success in his planned projects. But he was frustrated from the beginning to the end so far as his material activities were concerned. And the very person that Maharaj Dhritarashtra practically kicked out was Mahatma Vidura. And Srila Prabhupada says in another place that Duryodhana was so gross with Mahatma Vidura, he sort of insulted him even in public in various ways. Still Vidura did not winch and react. He just left. And yet this Vidura in these verses is liberating Maharaj Dhritarashtra. Was just attached to buildings and so many things. He couldn't get liberated. Like that. So the ultimate sense for us also, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is teaching us one thing through that brahmachari. I won't mention his name on the basis of being respectful to the person. Yeah. And later he took sannyas. Yeah. That we should be very cautious. Although Vidura saw Maharaj Dhritarashtra and his sons were doing all this nonsense activities and even criticizing the sadhus like him and so forth. Still the sadhus will not react and wait for that opportune moment to liberate them, to free them from all the cunningness and so forth. And Srila Prabhupada quoted Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and also said, don't let our temples and our facility become the cause of your fall down, both grossly and subtly. Like that. These temples are meant to be giving Krishna consciousness on a pure way to the mass of the people. And then Srila Prabhupada quotes the famous verse of the basic standard of pure devotional service. Anya bilasita sunyam jnana karma adi anavritam anukulyana Krishna anusilanam bhakti uttamam. That these temples are meant as a facility to give pure devotional service to anyone who comes into contact with the facilities that are given to us in the Krishna consciousness movement. Another time, Srila Prabhupada, I'm just reading from the Path of Perfection, chapter 9. Srila Prabhupada says, my Guru Maharaj used to say, quote, don't try to see God, but work in such a way that God will see you. God will take care of you. You don't have to try to see Him. And then in another place, Srila Prabhupada says, by becoming submissive, he can attract the attention of God. As Guru Maharaj Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur used to say, don't try to see God. Is God to come and stand before us just like a servant, just because we want to see Him? That is not the submissive way. We have to oblige Him by our love and service. So that's a nice thing. And then, in keeping with that, in a lecture in Los Angeles in 1970, 2nd July, Srila Prabhupada quotes Srila Bhakti Siddhanta. And he said, my Guru Maharaj used to say that a saintly person should not be seen through the eyes, but through the ears. So it is nice that we take darshan of Shri Radharasa Bihari, Lalita, Vishaka, Sri Sitaram, Lakshman, Hanuman, at the same time Shri Gaurnitai and our Guru Parampara. That's nice. However, we should be seeing through Shastra Shakshus, by hearing the scripture. So there are two types of seeing. One is externally and the other is internally. So externally, we should not become bewildered by the glitter and glamour and so forth that we see around us. I mean, this temple is full of marble. Even hotels are full of marble. But this marble is spiritual, Srila Prabhupada used to say. So the marble is watching you in any part of Hare Krishna land, because it's used in the service of the pleasure, for the pleasure of the Lord, and for the pleasure of the devotees to serve for the pleasure of the Lord, not otherwise. Like that. And therefore Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was very disgusted at one time. And he said, I want to take this marble from our Bhag Bazaar temple, because they're only fighting over facility. Which room I should get and which office I should occupy, even if you're not there most of the time. Like that. It is better I take this marble from this temple and do what? Anyone knows? And sell it and print books and distribute the books. Like that. So we don't want the cause of our facilities, which we have all over the world, much more than Bhag Bazaar temple now. And recently I visited our temple in Rohini, which is near Punjabi Bagh in Delhi. And they are going to open on Sri Ram Navami on 17th of April. I can tell you, practically speaking, apart from the temple of Vedic Planetarium in Mayapur, it's the most expensive temple in Bharatabhumi, India, or just on 1 acre, but 5 floors. It is even more expensive than the east of Kailash temple of Shishirada Pathasarati. How many of you agree with me? You've seen it? Yeah. So Keshav Murari was taking me around. He said, you must come for the opening and so forth. I said, yeah, I'll try to be there. I said, don't let this become the source of misery and anxiety amongst yourselves. It must be used specifically for the mission of Krishna consciousness. Amazing. So we always have to remind ourselves to see through the eyes of Shastra. That's how you see the deity, and through the eyes of chanting the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So when Srila Prabhupada was first, our Srila Prabhupada, A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami Prabhupada, was first taken to his quarters here, 5th floor of the Prabhupada Tower, right here. So at that time his days, Surabhi Abhipalayantam, later became Surabhi Swami. Yeah. So he was the architect for this entire place. Yeah. So when he took Srila Prabhupada, practically took him on a palanquin, he wasn't very well, into his new quarters. So he turned to Surabhi Prabhu and he said, this is fit for a king. Like that. And then he looked at Surabhi and he said, so where is queen? Reminding the devotees, this is not for your sense enjoyment. This is not for your sense enjoyment. Yes. And then another time when His Holiness Giriraj Swami and His Holiness Tamal Krishna Swami took him to the quarters and then they gave him a tour. And he said, Srila Prabhupada, so they gave him a tour from like my right side. Srila Prabhupada, this is your reception area. And they took him that way. This is the kitchen where they'll prepare your meals, prasadam. And they took him a little side there. This is where you will write your letters. And they brought him into the main mandap. And this is where you will honor prasadam. And then further the main place where you will. So this is where you will meet people. Like that. And they took him to the left side. This is where you'll do your translation. And then further left in another room, whole floor. This is where you will take rest. Yeah. And then the way they said it, this is where you'll do that, do that, do that, do that, do that. Like that. And then Srila Prabhupada said, just like my rooms at Radha Damodar. You've been to Radha Damodar temple? You've been to his room? Maybe 2 meters by 3.5 meters or something. And then there's the veranda and then there's the kitchen on the side. Yeah. So they were like surprised. Just like my rooms at Radha Damodar, they were frowning. Oh, Prabhupada, this is your most opulent home in the whole world. You know, with teak wood pillars. You saw those pillars? And that teak wood is more expensive than marble. Yeah. He said, yes. He said, in Radha Damodar, my room, in one place I used to take rest, in another place I used to translate, another place I used to meet people, another place I used to honor prasadam, and the other side was my kitchen. He was not bewildered. He was not bewildered by any facility. So that is why Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, better I take that marble and print books. Sell it and print books. And as the Kali Yuga progresses, there'll be fighting amongst devotees just for facility, just for position and power to maintain that facility. That's how Kali enters, like that. So it's very important that we should always see through the heart, through scripture, and through the chanting of the holy names. There's an external side and there's an internal side of every devotee. Srila Prabhupada was giving a Chaitanya Charitamrita lecture on February 16, 1971 in Gorakhpur. I'm just discussing the intimacy of Srila Prabhupada and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And Srila Prabhupada said in that lecture, so my Guru Maharaj used to say that, don't take the risk of waiting for another life. Finish this business. Krishna consciousness in this life. Quoting Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. Because there is no certainty. And what is that Krishna consciousness? Man manabhava mad bhakta majaji mam namaskuru. That's all. Always think of Krishna. And in the purport in the Srimad Bhagavatam 4.12.43, Srila Prabhupada says, my Guru Maharaj, Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada, he uses the word Prabhupada also in that purport. I'll read. My Guru Maharaj, Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada, used to say that every one of his disciples could attain Vaikuntha Loka in this life without waiting for another life to execute devotional service. So this is also the goal of Srila Prabhupada and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And Srila Prabhupada coined the same thing in another way. Go back home, back to Godhead. Very famous for it. Same thing. Go back home, back to Godhead. You have any comments or questions? I have 6 pages of notes, there's plenty to discuss. But we can take any comments or questions for now. Anyone? Yes. Microphone here to Vishnu Tattva Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj, for enlightening us. Maharaj, you were mentioning that how Srila Prabhupada always very careful in using the facilities, whatever is available. I see in my services, whenever these opportunities are there, when people or facilities are available, so how I should not misuse, misuse in the name of rendering services, in the name of expanding the movement. I should not get bewildered by such facilities, position. What is the line where it determines that it's for service, it's not my personal sense gratification?
Srila Prabhupada indicated in various places, I'm just paraphrasing to respond to you. Srila Prabhupada said our temples and our centers should give off a spiritual vibration that people look forward to come to see sadhus, saintly persons, like that. But if you give off a vibration that you can come and enjoy the facility, then that's what you'll get. I'm getting it. Yeah. So it's important that our temples all over the world should give off a spiritual Shakti. Because, for people to come and enjoy nice facility and so forth, that is for those who are transitioning from the material world into the spiritual nature. Like that. So one time Srila Prabhupada told His Holiness Guraj Swami, he said that although we have land in Juhu, but I started staying in like very wealthy people's homes, like Kartikeya Mahadevya and so forth, in downtown Mumbai. And Srila Prabhupada said in Mumbai, our preaching began there, like with the Cross Maidan festival and so forth. So then they asked Srila Prabhupada, what should we do? Then Srila Prabhupada made the point, which I'm paraphrasing, which is there, noted by His Holiness Kiraj Swami. Srila Prabhupada said that you should have a place in downtown Mumbai where, because it's the financial gateway to India, that place is the financial gateway. Yeah. And he said you should have a place in such a way that when people come, they don't need to take off their shoes. Can you imagine that? They can walk in with their attire, like business suits or something, and you have to have nice chairs, and you have to have a nice dining room. They're walking in with their shoes. In other words, good facility that they are used to in their homes and going to restaurants or whatever. He said that's how you attract them. Because it is not a mandir, it is not a temple. So after they become purified, according to how we accepting them according to their way of saying things and living, then now they know when they come to the temple, automatically they'll take off their shoes. We don't have such a place in downtown Mumbai yet. We're talking about Nariman Point and all these other places like that. So Prabhupada was very careful that the facility that we give is attracting people by the external to bring them to the internal. To the internal. Because people in the material world are sort of, you could say like attracted and repulsed by externals. Yes or no? They're attracted and repulsed by externals. So you got to use that consciousness to also attract them by the external and not repulse them to come into the internal. Because external means material world, material life. See? Like that. So the facility are basically to attract people to come. But when they come internally, their life becomes simple. See? Like for example, we have nice guest house facilities. And I happen to be living in one of those rooms. I know what happens on that floor, even in the night. It's like more like a hotel than a guest house facility for our members to come and get spiritual. Most of them who stay in these rooms don't come to Mangala. They're supposed to. See? So when people come to our temple, they should feel the vibration of spirituality. Not that they come and enjoy the facility and don't get that. You bring them through the external into the internal. Otherwise, everything gets lost as Kali Yuga progresses. We okay? Yeah. So just doing that, you will be mindful also not to enjoy the facility. Is that okay? The other day I was giving a talk here and I mentioned clearly that during Prabhupada's time that problem was not there because everyone who joins is a sadhu and lives in the temple, even if they're married. But now we are congregational based since the early 90s. So we have to change management and administration a little bit. So if you have a temple president who's a brahmachari or a sannyasi, and then you have a community president for the congregation. I'm establishing different parts of the world. Then it augurs well that people will come and see sadhus. If you mix the both, then it becomes something else. Because you have to cater for so many devotees out there. But when they come to temple, they must feel this temple is better than their own home where they have their own sadhana. Getting it? Like they get strength spiritually to go back and become better at home. We good? So you have to live simply in the temple. So I'll give you the proof. You know the verse? Prayana 1110, eh? Pranalpa ayusya sabya kalo asmen yuge jana manda sumanda matayo manda bhagya hi upa druta. That's 1110. I just read the verse for you. Actually, I just told the verse to you. So here, Prabhupada is saying in the translation, O learned one, in the iron age of Kali, men have but short lives. They are quarrelsome, lazy, misguided, unlucky, and above all, always disturbed. So this is how Kali enters. One time, one devotee told me that sometimes our temple becomes like Kurukshetra or something. But that's not the case with Prabhupada. He wanted it differently. You cannot say it's always Kurukshetra. You know, that's not how it works. So here in the purport, part of the purport, Srila Prabhupada says how Kali enters. Kali is already overcoming the lives of those who are not devotees, but how Kali enters into devotees' lives. This is one part only. There's many places Prabhupada says how Kali enters in relation to this. So Srila Prabhupada says here, now you're a brahmachari, right? Haribol? Brahmachari, okay. So Prabhupada says here, the student or brahmachari in brackets he writes, the student brahmachari communities are no longer being maintained. And householders do not observe the rules and regulations of the Grihastha ashram. That's pretty clear. Consequently, the so-called vanaprasthas and sannyasis who come out of such Grihastha ashrams are easily deviated from the rigid path. In the Kali Yuga, the whole atmosphere is surcharged with faithlessness. Men are no longer interested in spiritual values. Material sense gratification is now the standard of civilization. So this is how Kali enters into devotees' lives. If you don't have a vibrant, fixed brahmachari ashram, then Prabhupada said the consequence is that the householders will not be able to follow properly. Because within the congregation, when they come, they don't get that. See? They don't get this, the brahmachari, oh, these are sadhus, because they feel they are better off practicing Krishna consciousness at home. So our temple should be that spiritually vibrant. And therefore the temples are more Brahmanical, with a brahmachari or sannyasi in charge of it. We can see that. And then you have a community president who was an ex-brahmachari before, who got married, and he knows both worlds. And that's easy to deal with. So you're meant to live simply in the temple. Is that okay? For us sannyasis, there's no problem. We don't even have a place to stay. Every few days we're somewhere else. We live out of our luggage bag. Sky is the roof and arm is the pillow. And if the train is stuck somewhere because of some bund, then we sleep on the railway station. No problem. Is that okay? So long as the atmosphere doesn't have that Brahma Tejas or spiritual Shakti, it's not going to happen. And the household will not be able to follow properly. Prabhupada says here. You know why so many so-called spiritual movements are taken seriously in India? Because in their temples and in their ashrams, they are very strict. I'm not going to mention who they are, but you know who they are. And therefore, big people, big industrialists go to them. And really have not much to offer in terms of philosophy, in terms of Krishna consciousness. But they are respected. So we don't want our brahmacharis and sannyasis to become like the householders and live like Maharajas but not like Swamis. You understand? So that's the most important thing, to take this movement forward. It cannot really just be congregational based. That's not how Prabhupada started this movement. It has to be ashram based. So therefore, you as a brahmachari, because you asked the question, you should just live simply. Don't worry about how others are living. You just live simply. That brahmacharyas or the spiritual Shakti, without you knowing, people will come to you for spiritual advice and get them liberated. Get them out of this material world. Is that okay? Next question. I'll say one more thing, then you know how serious this is. Then I'll take your question. Not now, let me say one more thing. Yeah. I did a consensus. You know what's a consensus? A survey. Yeah. In few parts of the world. And I have it with me. Because people come to me with their problems. And in one part of the world, per ratio of the number of devotees in the congregation who are initiated, 60% of those who are initiated in one particular area of the world, they have difficulty in chanting their japa every day, and they don't chant their japa. Now you understand how serious that is? This is a genuine consensus and so forth. So then I thought, wow, this is really troubling for me. It's like anxiety. How they got initiated in the first place, They're not serious about their japa. They said, no, we go to work, we're exposed to so many things, we hardly eat Krishna Prasad, we eat outside and all that stuff. You can imagine what their consciousness is like. So when I went to another country and I said, this is what happened, in that country, the regional person who was in charge of that country, he was an ex-brahmachari, then he got married and he's living in a congregation. He said, Maharaj, you're saying that place 60%. In our country it's 80%. So who's to say that you're living in your home, nobody's checking on you, right? So therefore, Krishna consciousness is an internal spiritual force. You have to be a self-starter. You have to have self-enthusiasm to do what you need to do. And that you get from the temples by coming to the morning program. You get that energy, and you go home and you continue your rounds. Therefore, there have to be only sadhus here. And most people don't even know how to chant their japa because I teach it. Japa. They don't even know how to chant the japa. They got initiated. So what are we really doing? We want people to become liberated and go back home, back to Golok. That's our goal. Don't suffer back again. Birth, old age is it's nasty. The material world is nasty. It's a miserable place. Get out. But we have to give that kind of association and we have to receive that kind of association. We have to be sheltered in both ways. So we have to be feeling sheltered and then we can offer shelter. Like I said another time, transparent by medium. Yes, Prabhu. And Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur wants us all to go back home, back to Vaikuntha. Let's pray for his mercy. Yes?
Thank you very much, Maharaj. Recently, when the Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj celebrations happened, so one devotee, when he was giving Bhagavatam class here in the Juhu, he was mentioning that they have not recognized really the efforts of Srila Prabhupada.
Not recognized?
They have not, he was saying in the Bhagavatam class that
They have not recognized the position of who?
efforts of Srila Prabhupada to fulfill
Which Srila Prabhupada? Bhakti Siddhanta Prabhupada or A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami Prabhupada?
A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada.
You mean our founder Acharya?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
So, in response to this, I was thinking, just I wanted to cross-check, that Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj wantedly, he said that when the time comes, Abhay Babu will show what it is, what he can do. So, is it Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he wanted purposefully that Prabhupada not to be involved in the Gaudiya Math and start some other organization like ISKCON?
No.
So how to understand?
Not true.
This?
Not true.
How to understand
Not
this?
true. If you go to Prabhupada's letters, he wrote so many letters to his godbrothers. Even before he started the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Please help me. I'm in New York. I need to build a temple in New York. Please help me. See? Until all his attempts failed. You must read those letters. It's amazing letters. How he was begging them, please help me. Please send some brahmacharis. You're a sannyasi. Come, I invite you. Please come. Please send me money. Go to the government of India. We'll work out the money can come. We need to establish a temple in New York. Not true. He still wanted to work under the Gaudiya Math and with the Gaudiya Math. Still. Is that okay?
Yes, Maharaj. So should we consider now this ISKCON as a branch of Chaitanya Tree, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj Tree? Or?
No, Srila Prabhupada accepted the Gaudiya Math, and Srila Prabhupada accepted that ISKCON is one of the principal branches of the Chaitanya Tree that's spreading Krishna consciousness all over the world. But despite not receiving any help from his godbrothers, not all of them, still he felt that the Gaudiya Math is also another branch of the Chaitanya Tree. It doesn't undermine or minimize that. You with me?
Yes, Maharaj. So how do we see
in the
this
same
now?
mood, Listen. Because you will ask one question after another question. So in the same mode, I'll conclude with this. His Holiness Giriraj Swami, I'm sorry I'm quoting him so much, just that I have a lot of association with him over the last 40 years, So His Holiness Giriraj Swami was a little bit troubled in his consciousness, and he approached Srila Prabhupada like that, and I'm paraphrasing, he may say it better than me, I'm paraphrasing that, there was problems in our movement, like that. And he was thinking that, how will ISKCON go on without Prabhupada? Like that. So either Prabhupada knew what his consciousness was, or he approached Srila Prabhupada, I'm not so clear now, but still the principle remains like that. So then Srila Prabhupada said that if there's problems in our movement, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, he wasn't talking about the Gaudiya Math. Yeah. If there's problems in our movement, then don't go away. Don't go away. You should stay and work for the rectification. He told Giriraj Swami. See? Don't go away. You should stay and work for the rectification. So little potent and pointed instructions like from Prabhupada to his leading disciples. They stay and they work for the rectification. With sensitivity, of course, and so forth. Yeah. So that's important. Right. So I'm speaking in a general way here, in relation to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta and Prabhupada, and in relation to ISKCON specifically. Because we need to liberate everyone. Everyone should go back to Golok Vrindavan. Is that okay? Yeah. But sometimes, like Vidura, there's no classic example better than Vidura. Vidura was insulted, so many things kicked out, but he never went away. He was still there for Dhritarashtra. And because of Vidura, Dhritarashtra went back. Same sort of consciousness.
Now, Maharaj, how do we see that Gaudiya Math is...
We don't see Gaudiya Math. We see service to Srila Prabhupada, which is automatically service to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Are we okay? But if you come into contact with devotees on the Gaudiya Math, be very respectful and be very polite. Because they are also Vaishnavas. They're trying in their own ways to spread Krishna consciousness, and they have done. They have done. In India, they have done. They have done. But we should not be competitive and comparative in relation to our Srila Prabhupada. Let's respect them. Is that okay?
Thank you, Maharaj.
I believe we should conclude now. Is that fine? Yeah. Srila Prabhupada ki, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada ki, Ananta Kuri Vaishnava Vrind ki, Atai Go Premanande, Hare Hare.